Welcome back. 68 years ago, exactly in 1954, the Egyptian archaeologist Kamal al-Malakh and his team discovered two holes beneath or near the Grand Pyramid, or the Cheops or Khufu pyramids, and it was the beginning of a turning point in our modern history regarding our discoveries, the solar boat of Cheops. And now we are celebrating moving this unique piece of art to near the Grand Egyptian Museum. This is going also to be another addition to our phenomenal place, our Giza Plateau of the Pyramids. To shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Mrs. Ghada Douss, our historian, researcher, and tourism expert. Thank you very much for being with us.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. As we are speaking about this unique piece of art, as I described it, the solar boat of Cheops or Khufu solar boat, tell us more about its history. I mean, the importance of it as the oldest solar boat in Egypt.
Well, the importance of the boat of King Khufu, first of all, its age. It's from 2600 BC, which means now it is almost 4,600 years ago. And the importance of this boat, that it's a very unique piece of very huge size of wood, and it was discovered, as you've just mentioned, by Dr. Kamal al-Malakh. This was in 1954. This discovery, it was a very interesting discovery. It's considered to be one of the most important discoveries in the 20th century, because it was not only, one boat, it was two boats. He found two pits south of the Great Pyramid, and it had wood, very, very good quality of wood, cedar wood. And this wood, when it was formed later on by Ahmed Yusuf, who was the great restorer, it turned to be a huge, beautiful boat of length 43 meters.
Yeah.
We call it actually a sun boat, not solar, because earlier we used to call it solar, but solar, it doesn't operate by solar energy. We call it sun boat because this boat was to serve the king in the afterlife during his journey through heaven at sunrise, and the other one to serve him at sunset. That's why there are two boats in the area south of the Great Pyramid.
Yeah.
So the discovery is very interesting, and also the way that it was put together again after years and years.
And of course, the first question to come to our minds, how this wooden boat was restored and how it was kept intact for thousands of years. Is it the way they, our pharaohs, of course, buried it in our dry sand, or there are some methods which we are trying to discover?
Well, as I just mentioned, the discovery itself was a kind of an accident. He wasn't really looking for boats. He was doing some excavations south of the Great Pyramid, and accidentally he found a pit that was covered by 41 blocks of limestone. And it was estimated that the weight of this limestone blocks it was about 986 tons, which is very huge. So the two boats were done, and then disassembled and put in the pit. But we found signs of water that tells us that the boat was maybe used twice or three times, maybe during the lifetime of the king. One of the main reasons that the boat is in a very good condition, that's the one that we have moved, it's the dryness of the weather. So when the Egyptians made the boat, they put it together and then disassembled it, put it in the pit, and covered it completely with the blocks of limestone.
Yeah.
The second boat, it's still underground. And, we have studied this second boat. The first study of this boat was 1985. It was National Geographic Channel and the Egyptian Antiquities Authorities, when we put a camera to check how good the wood of the second boat. Unfortunately, it is not in the same good condition of the boat that we have moved. And we started with Japan, a project to try to save the second boat, as we have already
This was
done.
my coming question, Mrs. Ghada, regarding the restoration process and regarding, of course, the sincere, extensive, intensive efforts exerted by our experts to make it a story of success, the restoration of the boats, I mean. Was it purely Egyptian, this mission, I mean, or it was in cooperation with other foreign groups or foreign teams who were here in specific for accomplishing this mission?
Well, we definitely have cooperation with foreign missions, like the National Geographic. They are very, very active to work with us and restore. Also, our cooperation with Japan. Due to our cooperation with Japan, Egypt and Japan has started a project in 1992 to safely dismantle the wood of the second boat without any damage, and to work to reinforce and restore and then reassemble the wood of the second boat to make it ready to be displayed in GEM, or the Grand Egyptian Museum. So far, from the second boat, 1,700 pieces of cedar wood are under restoration, and we already have moved 1,242 pieces to a storeroom in the Grand Egyptian Museum, and it's already treated. So, I mean, I guess in few years we'll be able to restore the second boat.
Inshallah. And this is going to lead me to ask about the restoration department, which is affiliated to the Grand Egyptian Museum. The Grand Egyptian Museum is going to be opened in few months' time, and inshallah it's going to include a number of departments. This gem, or this Grand Egyptian Museum, is going to be one of Egypt's gifts to humanity at large, if you agree with me on that. Tell us about this department, which is going to have a very positive role in restoring our monuments.
Well, the Grand Egyptian Museum already, there's a huge part of the Grand Egyptian Museum is working in restoration and in a very, very scientific method. It's already working, and it's getting experts from all around the world. The boat in particular, some boat, has a special new museum built within the walls of the Grand Egyptian Museum. This new museum will be in an area of about 1.4 thousand square meters. It's a smaller museum formed in very modern techniques as part of the GEM, or the Grand Egyptian Museum, to display Khufu's boat, and it will show a very modern documentary to display the journey of the discovery and the transportation, which was something amazing, the transportation of this boat. So if we say the ancient Egyptians made this boat in 2600 BC, we also are proud of our modern technology, together with cooperation with other countries, to move this boat from its original location, which was south of the Great Pyramid, to the Grand Egyptian Museum. You know, it's an operation that took place from a year ago from now. It was on the 6th of August.
The Grand Egyptian Museum, in my humble opinion, is going to change the tourism map in Egypt. And we are going, inshallah, to witness a charter trips coming in specific to visit the gym and return back. I mean, very short trips. How do you see this in the near future? And to what extent we are on the right track to propagate for this huge event?
Well, the Grand Egyptian Museum definitely is going to be the largest museum worldwide, and especially that it's not going to be only indoors, but will be indoors and outdoors. And as you know, it's not only the sunboat that we are talking about. In the Grand Egyptian Museum, there will be a display of the full pieces of the Tutankhamun's discovery. You know, it's not completely fully displayed, but in the Grand Egyptian Museum, for the very first time, we will see more than 5,000 pieces of the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun, 1922, Also, we have
Something we
moved.
should be very much proud of. And as we said, it's Egypt's gift to humanity. This is Egypt. Well, Mrs. Ghada Douss, tourism expert and researcher, thank you very much for your input and have a very good day. And by this, we come to the end of our episode. Tomorrow is another day and another crew. And you were in the company of my dear colleague and friend Amal Mukhtar and myself, Nermeen Abdurrahman. Please, for more details, log on to www.nileinternational.net. Many thanks for watching, and it's goodbye for now.